Hi YouTube, what's up? So this is Chevy Sauced Up, and today I am going to be making one of my famous dishes, and that is lasagna. So this lasagna has no ricotta cheese in it or any bechamel sauce, for all my Italians out there. So this is just pure meat, pure noodles, pure cheese. So I'm going to show you guys what I got. This is the meat that you're going to use. 2.25 pounds is perfect amount for this much sauce. All right. So the reason why my lasagna is so bomb, bro, is because I use 3 type of tomato sauces. I use chunky Garden Harvest Prego sauce. I use diced tomatoes. This actually makes the meat actually like way more looser than, you know, you don't want it to be too saucy, but you want it to kind of have a texture to it. So this gives it texture. And then this paste right here makes it not so watery, because when you use this and this together, it tends to be a little watery. So my trick is tomato paste, right? So that's for your sauce. And then you're also going to use thyme. That's going to give it a little kick. And on top of the thyme too, when it's time to simmer, you're going to use bay leaves, right? Then green peppers, just one. This onion, I don't know if I use the whole thing, but I'll show you when I cut it up. This big bag of cheese, the noodles that you put in the oven, this one you boil from scratch. So to season the meat, I use onion powder, Creole slap your mama sauce. That's what I call it, slap your mama sauce. It tastes so good. And then roasted garlic, complete seasoning, black pepper, adobo, just a teensy bit, and a teensy bit of cayenne pepper. And those are your seasonings. This is my pot that I'm gonna use. So you have your stove on like 8, and I'm going to use vegetable oil to grease my pot. So we're just gonna put about that much, because you don't want to put too much oil, because what this is going to do, like the meat is going to kind of like boil, and it has a lot of water in it, so you don't want too much. For some reason, when you boil beef, it tends to like produce some type of watery liquid. Don't ask me why. All right, so by the way, to all my real cooks out there, my real chefs, yeah, I did not go to culinary school, so you're probably going to watch my video like, what is she doing? But I cook from the heart, so this shit's bomb. All right, so what I have inside here is garlic. You can use fresh garlic, but I use this. To me, it tastes the same pretty much. So you're going to use about a tablespoon and a half. By the way, my measurements are completely trash as well. So, cut open our beef, and we're gonna drop it in there. Gonna break it down like this. So like I said, you want a chunky, like not so chunky, but a chunky lasagna, but not to the point where the meat is like way too chunky. So you're gonna like chop this up for a good minute. All right, so I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna chop this up, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like when I'm done chopping it. All brown, right? All the meat is pretty much cooked. Everything is a little chopped. So now, and you see how it's cooking. The water is, I use the perfect kind of meat, because the liquid that I told you that it produces, that watery, like raw tasting liquid, is pretty much all dried out, just a little bit. So now, this is when you're gonna add your onions and your green pepper. So I'm going to take about a handful of onions to start off, and I'm going to drizzle that in there. Now you can turn down the stove to about 7. Alright, so I used like less than half of an onion. Okay? Now I'm gonna take my green pepper and I'm gonna use about half of it. Perfect. Then you're gonna take your thyme, and this thyme does not go inside of the this thyme right here does not go inside of the lasagna. So when you're cooking when you're cooking the lasagna, when it's about time to be like spread, just look for it. So instead of putting the little twigs like that, just put a whole one like this, because you're just really putting it in there for the flavor. All right, so just one is pretty much good. So it's not hard to look for, you get what I'm saying? Okay. You're gonna mix this all up. Chop these up. I'm gonna turn the stove this way. Can you see? Yes. This camera though. Okay. So you mix it all up. Now you're gonna add your sauce, and you're gonna use the whole can of tomato paste. You don't have to scoop all of it out too much, because you really don't need like the whole can. So don't be extra trying to get all that out. Just as much as you can. Okay, that goes in recycle. Now we're gonna open up our diced tomato. Okay. Now for our Prego sauce. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay. So now what you're gonna do with this is you're gonna scrape this one out as much as possible, because this is the one that's like for the lasagna. Okay. All right. So now you're gonna add your bay leaf. This bay leaf is like, it gives it like a garden type of like vibe. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but you're actually just gonna take a big piece like that, drop it in there. The bigger the piece is because you don't want bay leaves in your lasagna when you bite it. So about 2. One more. Boom. All right, so you're gonna mix this all. Mix it all up. Ooh, yummy. Okay. So you're gonna toss it, kind of like flip it like that. Stir it up so it's not so chunky. Can you see good? Yeah, you could. Perfect. Stir it up, stir it up. And then now you're gonna season it. Okay, so please, like I said, I am no chef. I cook from the heart. So how I season, you do not have to season that way. But I'm gonna show you how my food comes out like bomb. I know you guys are gonna look at this like, oh my God, diabetes. But this is how I season. So start with your onion powder. I know on the Food Network they do like this. Like, I'm gonna show you what they do on the Food Network. You see this a little bit? Bomb? Heck nah, not over here. Season it, yo. You gotta season it. All right. And as you season, you mix it. So every layer has a kind of taste. That might be in my head, but shoot, when the food comes out, it'll be bomb. All right, so you got that mixing like that. So now you're gonna, while you're seasoning this, by the way, you're gonna put the stove on simmer. And you're gonna simmer this for about 20 minutes because you don't want it to overcook and be tasting dry. All that sauce you spent money on, you know? So you have to put it on simmer. All right, let's taste it. It's a big taste. All right, hold on. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit and simmer for about 25 minutes with the cover on it. Rub the seasoning in it real good. That was actually a really good piece. Make sure the bay leaves and the thyme is buried underneath it so it can really like cook since it was not fresh bay leaves. 25 minutes, we'll be back. So you're just gonna take this just like this and boom, just drop it, baby. You're gonna drop it and try not to drop it on top of each other. Just try to stick it in there. And what you're gonna do is instead of dropping all of them on top of each other, you're just gonna wait until it kind of melts. Or just take your lasagna stick and go like that. All right, so you still see it's still popping over, so that means you need to take out some more water. All right, now you're gonna make sure all your noodles is immersed, whatever. And you're gonna literally wait for 8 minutes. Do not cook your noodles over 8 minutes because remember, you still have to put it in the oven, so you don't want it to be too soggy. And actually, this lasagna is gonna be for tomorrow. I'm not eating it tonight, so I'm preparing it tonight, and then I'm gonna cook it in the oven tomorrow, and I'll show you how it comes out and everything. All right, so now we are about to prepare our lasagna. All right, so this is how it looks. Yummy. Yummy! I get so excited about food. So this is how our meat sauce looks. Do you see? Looky there. It's hearty, it's chunky, it's meaty, it's saucy, it's perfect. Literally perfect. Alright, so now you see, remember how I was telling you that there's like different little, pieces like this in there? You're gonna take this out as much as you can. Literally as much as you can. And also the bay leaves. And you can also do that as you go because you're gonna see it, kinda. You're literally just taking out the thyme pieces. Here goes our little flavor stick. And the bay leaves, that's all. All right, I don't see any more. Oh, here goes another one. Okay. It has such flavor. It smells like oregano, and we didn't even put oregano. It's just from the Prego sauce. It also smells like thyme. It smells so Italian-y. It's unbelievable, but then it also has a kick to it. This is why they call me Chevy sauced up, you heard? Because look at this. Ah. You're going to get used to my little sound effects. Sorry if it's ratchet. But anyways, all right. So we're going to switch over. I'm going to move this to over here so you can see how I build my lasagna. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take about, I found another bay leaf, a spoonful of lasagna meat, and you're going to spread it. Now, the reason why you're doing this, and if you see any chunks in it, remember, just chop it up. The reason why you're doing this is so the noodles don't stick to the pot. It is the worst when you're making lasagna and you're trying to cut it, especially when you're catering like for like your family dinner or something, and everyone is like ripping off the lasagna noodles from the bottom of the pot. It just breaks and falls apart. So literally, you're just doing this to coat it so it has something to sit on, so it doesn't, like, you know, stick. All right, and you don't want to put too much because you're literally not even going to be using all this on the bottom. This is just literally just to coat it. You don't want to put oil. For some reason, oil just dries out because, like I said, when you're about to serve it, you serve it and you put it in the oven for 45 minutes. But tomorrow, since I'm letting it sit overnight and I'm going to serve it tomorrow at a party, I'm going to let it cook in the oven for about an hour. That oil is going to dry up, but this won't. At least it won't dry up that much like an oil would. So you see how I'm covering all the parts? You don't see any silver parts. You have it covered. Now you're going to take your noodles. This is how it looks after 8 minutes out hot. And you're going to cover every inch of noodle. You're not going to have any spaces. What I do is I cut it. And don't throw this away. This part right here will come in handy if you're using those big containers. So for this one, just cut it and save it. Just get in the habit of saving. So you see how I'm using the noodle and I'm stacking it on top. Well, this one's we're gonna use another noodle because this one's a little burnt. So we're gonna use another one. Boom, perfect. This one's good. Ouch, it's hot, so be careful. So you see how I'm overlapping it? Nothing wrong with overlapping your noodles. You don't want any pieces of the meat showing.